Hello and welcome back to the Kinokast Prologue, where I talk about things and such and hope to God that it sounds casual and articulate and not thought up on the spot in bizarre and desperate hopes of sounding like I have a thing to talk about today. Because we all know I don't. Here's a thing I kind of want to talk about, even though I honestly don't know too much about the situation, but in an article, it has recently been revealed that show creators of Avatar The Last Airbender have now decided to opt out of working on the new live-action adaptation of Avatar The Last Airbender. For those of you who don't know, this is very bad news. They basically said that the way the show is being made and the direction it's going in, they do not feel it's going to live up to their vision of what the original show was supposed to get across. Which leads to a scary thought. Is this live-action adaptation of Avatar The Last Airbender gonna be just as bad, if not worse, than The Last Airbender, the movie by M. Night Shyamalan? It's very possible, which is really sad, because being that Avatar The Last Airbender is one of my favorite shows of all time, especially considering I got a tattoo of it on my body in a location that I will not tell you, seeing it turn into a shit-based facsimile of what it once was would be deeply concerning to me. Now, of course, I know the original always exists, and new things cannot taint my vision and my memory of what it is and was. But geez, man, you can't blame me for being upset when the potential for a live-action adaptation of a show I loved as a child is getting turned into a new show, and then it's horrible. That's a huge missed opportunity. It makes me think of what could have been. Could I have been in a world where Avatar The Last Airbender had a faithful and amazing Netflix adaptation? Of course, Avatar being the type of show that it is, it wouldn't fit well within live action anyways, being that there's 3 books and 20 episodes in each season. That's a lot to adapt, and I doubt they'd be able to adapt it in a way that makes sense, because most likely they're gonna put the least amount of effort in and have people in charge who don't understand the appeal of the original show. And in the end, it'll just end up some weird corporate clone that can never hope to stand up to the original. It's a reality we're all going to have to face and just move on from. I mean, what else could we take away from the creators of the show backing out of the project and saying it does not fit within their vision for the show? That's just a death flag. So I'm going to be bummed about that for a little while, but most likely before it even comes out, I'm going to move on from it. And then when it does come out, I'm going to watch it still with a dim hope that it can be a project that I can at least enjoy to some extent. And then I'm going to be deeply upset, and the whole cycle will repeat itself for one last time. And that's all the conversation I could draw out of that topic. Time to move on. I had an idea recently, just today actually, about what direction the podcast Prologue is going to go in. If I want these to have just a bit more quality, and I want to put a bit more editing and effort into it, then I'm going to have to make a sacrifice. My idea is that instead of releasing 1 video a day, I'm going to decrease it to 1 video every 2 days. That way, the first day, I have time to write a script, or at least scratch down some notes, record the audio, edit the audio, and then wait for tomorrow to do the rest of it, such as the commercial or music segment, or just the music behind it, the video editing, and then finally the YouTube upload. That wouldn't be a bad idea, although it would make me a little sad to see myself only releasing a video every 2 days. But that's a place that everyone has to get to on their own eventually. I just don't know if I want to be cutting back so soon after beginning. It would be like, hey, I came into this way over my head, and now I have to cut back to account for my failings. And I hate to admit when I've become a failure. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is delaying it for another week or two. The benefit to this is by the time a week or two passes, I will have the video editing software I need to be able to do what I want to do. And bam! Blamo! Pajamas. It'll be done. It'll be great. And then I can finally have a product I am at least semi-proud of. Of course, I'm not going to have a project I am proud of until the true podcast comes out and I can start advertising it a bit. But that's not something I really need to think about right now. There's so many things that could be thought about right now. Like, for instance, the even further distant future of when I have my tea shop. I've put more thought into what I might want from it, and I've come to a semi-conclusion, or at least a semi-idea of what could happen. I realized that I'm going to need partners in crime, people who can work for me, stand by me, and work with me, not necessarily in that order, to create a better tea shop environment. Although if I do follow through with the idea that I have, it'll kind of no longer be a tea shop and might venture closer to being a cafe tea shop. Because here's my idea. I need upwards of 3 to 4 other people on the team. Here are the jobs that I need. I need someone who can specialize in all things coffee. Because I want to be a tea expert, or a tea-spert, if you will, if you don't mind the pun, which I know you don't, I can't be focusing on coffee because all my heart and soul will be in the tea. And also the numbers of the business and making sure everything is the right way. I just can't handle trying to keep up with tea too. Gosh, it'd be horrible. I also need a passionate pastry person. Someone who knows all the ins and outs of that bread, chocolate, sugar, all that fun bakery shit that I know will draw in people. Next, I would want someone who can man all things music. Not only would they play music, they would find people to play music, and they would be the forerunning experts on all things music in the tea shop. They would control the vibe of the music, and they would control everything in relation to the music. I'm saying music a lot because I'm trying to drag out the time a little bit, so please don't get mad at me for it. And finally, and kind of least importantly, but still important in my opinion, I would want someone who can manage all of the flowers. I want a flower expert, I want a botanist, I want a florist, whatever they call themselves. I need a person who can pick the right flowers for the mood, and I need someone who can make the place as beautiful as possible with that natural look. Keep in mind, there are possibly more roles that would need to be fulfilled. Well, there are definitely more roles that would need to be fulfilled. But also keep in mind that it's a very high likelihood that some of these roles might have to be condensed. Like, for instance, if I don't want to have so many people on staff because that's just impractical in terms of money, then I could handle both the tea and the flowers, just as an example. Point being, those are the specific things I want to be focused on in my tea shop / cafe, whatever. Because yes, I want a place with a cool, minimalist design. That's only in terms of the color design and furniture. I still want it to be a place where it feels like you can hang out there for a while and just enjoy yourself with friends and nice conversation, whatever you feel like doing. Lately days all seem the same since I lost my brain. Golden nights will see you through. Darker days need glue. How can I find what's right? In truth, our love was the night. What's the point to you? Goodbye wonder, goodbye brain. This life is insane. No one here gets out alive, not for life you'd like. How can I find what's right? The truth is our lives were shite. What's the point to you? Come down, down, down. We have the only gack in town. Understand that it's here that I'm coming from. If I'm wrong or I'm right, maybe soon we'll find peace in another one. Say goodnight. Eyes of black and lips of gray. When do I get my say? Hard to come and easy go. It's the life I know. How can I find what's right? The truth is our lives were shite. What's the point to you? From down, 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 we have the only gack in town. Understand that it's here that I'm coming from. If I'm wrong or I'm right, maybe soon we'll find peace in another one. Say goodnight. Understand that it's here that I'm coming from. I don't mind if you're right. Maybe now I'll find peace in another world. And a good night. God damn. I am shocked and appalled. Sometimes I listen back to the way I'm talking and the things I'm doing, and I think to myself, damn, your voice sounds horrible. Maybe you're just not speaking loud enough or with enough passion. Sadly, I don't know if I can just draw a passion up out of nowhere. Not that people necessarily want passion, but I would like to try to avoid that weird groggy sound in my throat that happens when I talk quietly and slowly and really tired-like. Because I am really tired. I really want to try to look out for and watch out for, and all those other phrases that end with for, the specific ways I inflect and talk. Because it's so easy to control the sounds your voice makes, but you specifically have to be making an effort. If you're not making an effort, obviously you're not going to see any results. But that's hard, because sometimes when I'm talking, I don't want to put too much inflection and fun in my voice. I just want to talk how I'm feeling like talking in that very moment. But then I listen to it and I think, no. Please, dear God, never talk ever again, for you have brought hell on earth. I probably naturally speak better when there are other people there, because I don't have much experience talking to myself out loud, although I do talk to myself a lot in my head, but that doesn't really count as training if you ask me. I have to be careful not to think too much about the whole process I have to go through to get one of these videos out, because if I do think about it, it'll depress me and I'll lose motivation. Because I realize that 1, I have to record it, 2, I have to edit it, 3, I have to add music to the beginning and the end. I have to record the commercial, and then I have to put music beneath that, and then I have to save that music file, then I have to upload it in my video editor, and then I have to do a little bit of editing there. That's actually a really easy part. But then I have to upload the video to the YouTube thing. But before it can go live, I have to play with all those settings, like which playlist it goes into and what tags there are. And not to mention, I have to wait for the whole video to fucking process before I can actually upload it. Also, I have to edit together a bit of a thumbnail, but that's not terribly difficult, but it's still annoying. And then by the time it's uploaded, it'll be like 12:30, and I'll be like, fuck. Because then I don't have much time to do anything else. And then I'll just go to bed, and then I'll be sad. No, I won't be sad. I'll feel fine. But geez, it's just so much. Lucky for me, I only have approximately 3 more minutes of recording to do, because I decided I'm gonna cut it a bit shorter than usual today, because it's my choice to make, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. With school starting soon, on the 24th to be exact, I'll actually have a lot more time to do podcast and hobby type things, which is good, because while working is fun and all, and I make money, and I can waste as little time as possible, I would still honestly prefer to have more free time so I can do different things. However, once I do have more free time, I have to draw some lines somewhere. What I cannot do is spend 5 hours a day at the tea shop, because that is definitely wasting time, and not to mention it's imposing myself upon others, and that's just something that I'm really trying not to do, even if it's a problem I have. But I am more than sure that I'll be able to see this problem through and solve it somehow, if it's a problem that needs to be solved, which it might not be. It might just be a non-issue and I'm overthinking it. If I'm being honest, it gets difficult. It gets very, very difficult to force myself to talk for a minimum of 15 minutes. And I know I keep on harping on this, and I know I go back to it as a crutch because I don't know what to talk about. But hey, if the point here is to just talk and talk and talk until I can't talk anymore, I guess the what I'm talking about right now isn't all that important. And if I'm going to be honest even further, oftentimes I'm speaking in small fragmented sentences, as in I'll begin a sentence, and when I realize that I don't know what I'm about to say next, I pause. And then I pause for as long as I need to. And then once I realize what I want to say for the next few words, I record again, and I make it seem like there was no pause whatsoever. Although if it means anything, right now I haven't paused in the past 30 seconds, which is a little difficult because usually I don't know what I'm about to say, and I want to make sure I have as little real pauses in my sentences as possible, because I don't want my speaking patterns to be boring and dull and annoying, because every so often, every very, very often, there's just like a 2-second pause between words because I don't actually know what I'm about to say next, and it's a whole thing. But I'm trying, because I really do need to get better at that. If I want to be good at ad-libbing, like I pretend to be, and if I want to get good at improv, which I pretend to be, then I have to be able to talk about whatever I need to talk about for as long as I need to talk about it. But now that I talked for a full minute or whatever straight, it makes me happy and excited to let you all know that it is time for me to head to bed, or at least begin to head to bed after I do all the editing I need to do, which isn't going to be fun, but whatever. With that being said, I hope all of you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you tomorrow.